What is up, everybody? This is Anthony with VR365. What is going on? Welcome to a new episode of our show. Today is Thursday. It is April 4th. The year of our Lord is 2019. It is 2 p.m. Pacific time, and we are back in the mix. This is episode 141 of our show, VR365. All right, so one of the things I need to do is get my chat situated in the right spot here. And let me go ahead and grab my show notes. Today's probably going to be very similar to yesterday. Probably more of a shiz show than anything. I do have a couple of things that I have dialed up that I want to get into to start things off. But it's only going to cover like 10 minutes or so. And then, so we're going to have to kind of go shiz show after that. But it's all good. It'll all work out. One of the things, what was I going to say? Oh, you know what? I'm still having major problems, guys, with 4K Video Downloader and YouTube DLG, these two programs that I used to use to download videos off YouTube so that I could download the video, have it ready to go, and pop it into this show. Similar to this little Wipeout trailer. This Wipeout trailer was most likely downloaded with 4K Video Downloader. And I don't know what's going on because I deleted 4K Video Downloader. I completely deleted it off of my computer and I re-downloaded it. I have the latest version, but every time I try to put a video in it, nothing happens. And then I went over to my computer in the living room. I have 4K Video Downloader on the computer in the living room, and I was able to get a couple of videos, but I had to. It was just it's a big hassle. It's a nightmare. I don't like this. I need to be able to do it on this computer, not on another computer. It's bothersome, to say the least. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. So yeah, I might not have some of the videos and stuff that I wanted to do, but you know what we could do is I could go to YouTube like streaming and I could do the sound. I have desktop audio. I've just never wanted to do that. I kind of like having the trailers like already here in the full what do you call it, full bandwidth and all of that type of thing, so it's bad enough that I'm streaming and uploading and all of that. I didn't want to do it through YouTube as well live, but I guess I'm going to have to adapt and deal with it. So we'll have to figure that out. But anyways, what did I want to get into first and foremost? Okay, so the first thing I want to get into, guys, I have a bit of an apology for yesterday. I think I was way too harsh regarding the Oculus Quest. I think my rant was a bit overboard, just a wee bit overboard with my rant about my rant about casting from the Oculus Quest. And yeah, I was pretty much overboard with that. I was doing the timestamps last night and I kind of watched those sections again, trying to get my timestamps dialed up. I did try some other browsers. Showgame says, have you tried other browsers? Yeah, I tried 3 different browsers to do that. Yeah, I guess I could capture it with OBS, but that seems like you're doing a lot to do all of that. 4K Video Downloader just works so freaking easily. That was the beautiful thing, but oh well. So anyway, one of the things I wanted to talk about here is this Oculus Quest thing. Apologies, I did go a bit crazy. I mean, I was throwing out F-bombs and it was almost like I was upset at somebody or in a bad mood, and I took it out on the poor little Oculus Quest. And just to talk about that subject again, I do feel, however, I'm not really changing my view so much. I just think I was a bit too harsh about it, but I still feel like it's so mission critical. It really is. It's so incredibly mission critical that people can easily see a gameplay video of what you're doing. Like when someone's in an Oculus Quest, we have to be able to see it. You go to a party, at Christmas parties, Halloween parties, wherever you're gathering together. It's somebody's birthday party, it's the 4th of July, whatever. You're getting a whole bunch of people together. You might bring your Oculus Quest with you because, of course, you want to evangelize virtual reality. You want to get everybody hooked into virtual reality. You want more people jumping into virtual reality. That's what I want to do, and that's what I've been doing. I've been taking my Oculus Go with me places and throwing it on people's heads and trying to get them hyped up on virtual reality. But it's really going to put a wet blanket over all of that if we don't have an easier way where people could, they see the person doing Beat Saber, but if they can't see the game, like, that is an epic fail, I think. I think it's an epic fail. So I think, honestly, I'm not going to be as harsh as I was yesterday, but I honestly think, like, when Oculus sat down and they decided to do the Quest, and they decided to make the Quest, it's such a key product. It is so incredibly important for our overall video game industry. You guys might think that I'm, like, not video game industry, but our VR industry. The Oculus Quest is the most important product ever. It's 10 times more important than the Valve Index. Now, I know for a lot of you guys that are, and gals, a lot of you guys and gals that are in chat, you think the Index is way more important, but I'm talking about the viability of VR gaming long-term. The Oculus Quest is incredibly important. And I think that when Oculus, when they were sitting around a table and they were deciding what they were going to do, somebody should have stood up and said, this thing has to be able to cast perfectly to a TV or a tablet or a phone with crystal clear video and crystal clear audio, and it has to be fucking, pardon my French, it has to be awesome. It can't be like the Go. The Go is not, no, the casting on the Go is garbage. If it's like the Go, I just think it's such a bad move if they didn't plan that. Now maybe they have a solution. Heck, maybe they have a solution where you can, like, stream it to Facebook, and then you can get Facebook up and running on people's TVs, like on their smart TV somehow, and then bada boom, bada bing, you see Beat Saber on the TV screen, the person is playing it, everybody's watching and gathering around, and they're like, oh, that's so cool, it's totally wireless, wow, they're really in VR, and they see it on the TV screen and everything. That's gotta work. It's gotta work. But anyway, apologies, I think I went a little bit too harsh yesterday on that. Okay, so that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. Okay, the next thing I wanted to talk about, and Shirzad Khan City says, boring party? I'm bringing something else besides Quest. Well, you know what I'm talking about. And Fluke says, apology about rant turns into the same rant. Pretty much. Yeah, and all swear words are French. Absolutely. But that's my thought. Okay, now the other thing that was going on with the Oculus Quest yesterday, and this was one of our questions of the day, later in the day, I threw this question in at the very end, and I said, do we expect a discount? Actually, let me switch up this trailer because we've been running Wipeout for a minute here. So let's get a different trailer on the screen here. Let's just, I'll throw Dead and Buried. Yeah, how about Dead and Buried? So one of the things we were talking about is, do you expect a discount? Like, do you expect automatically a discount for Oculus Quest games? And then everybody in chat, so I was doing the thumbnail or the timestamps yesterday, and everybody in chat was like, we've already got cross-buy. You can't do a discount and cross-buy. Anthony, are you out of your mind? You're saying that we need a discount and cross-buy? They're already being incredibly generous with the cross-buy plan. We don't need a discount as well. And you know what? I beg to differ. And I'll tell you why I beg to differ. In fact, let's go over to the Webby browser. And so this is PlayStation 4 PS Vita cross-buy. Okay, I think this is where cross-buy began. It began with the PlayStation Vita. And the idea is that if you owned a PlayStation 4, well, really it started with PlayStation 3. It was PlayStation 3 and PS Vita that this really started, not PlayStation 4. But if you owned a game on PlayStation 3 and the same game was on Vita, the possibility was there was something called cross-buy. And that's how this whole thing got started. We got this cross-buy thing, okay? But when you think of the Vita, like I want people to think about the PlayStation Vita for a second. Because when you think about the PlayStation Vita, you expect that the games are going to be a little bit cheaper. Like they shouldn't cost the same as a PlayStation 3 or a PlayStation 4. If you're playing a game on a PlayStation Vita, it should be a little bit cheaper. I mean, that's just the way the game's played, right? It's a mobile platform. It should be cheaper, of course. Okay, if you're playing a game on a Wii U and then you play the game on your 3DS, the 3DS game should be a little bit cheaper, right? Portables are always cheaper than the big boys, aren't they? So I think inherently we expect the games on Quest, on average, should be cheaper than they are on the Oculus Rift. End of story. End of story. Now, I know what you guys are going to yap about. You're going to say, but wait a minute, they got cross-buy. They did cross-buy. Okay, cross-buy is great. It's a wonderful thing. But let's remember who the Oculus Quest is targeted at. It's not targeted at Rift owners. If the addressable market for Oculus Quest is existing Rift owners, that shit is already dead. It's already dead. If they're only going to be attracting existing Rift owners, the Quest is dead. No, the Quest is about getting new people. The Quest is about getting Joe and Sally Walmart. The Quest is going to be at Target. It's going to be at Walmart. It's going to be at Costco. It's going to be at Best Buy. It's going to be in one box. The box is going to sit right next to a PlayStation 4 box, right next to a Nintendo Switch box. It's going to be right there. It's the all-in-one solution. It's not for us. The Quest isn't for us that already have an Oculus Rift. The Quest is for new people to come into VR. And so these new people, they're not going to have a library of Quest games already because they had a Rift. There's only like if we go 2 years into the future. Okay, so if we go 2 years into the future and we consider the entire population of people that own an Oculus Quest, my guess is less than 30% will also own an Oculus Rift. Less than 30%. 70% of the population is never going to have owned an Oculus Rift and never will maybe own an Oculus Rift. And that's perfectly fine because that's exactly what this product is for. So my argument with the cross-buy thing is don't get the streams crossed, man. Cross-buy is a completely separate topic from Quest games having an automatic discount. Now, having said all of the crap that I just said, initially, very early in the game, Oculus is going to depend on us, the fervent fanboys. They're going to depend on us. We're the people that support the Oculus Lenovo. We're the people that support the Oculus Quest. We're going to be there on day one. We bleed blue, or whatever the color Oculus is. I don't know. But we bleed it, right? We are the Oculus hardcore. And we're going to be there for them, and we're going to support them. So in the very beginning, they might not need to do as much they might not need to do as much discounting in the very beginning. But as the Quest starts getting out there into the great wild, the open blue or whatever, ocean blue, whatever Nintendo was talking about a number of years ago, about like opening video game up to the wide masses. When it does that, then I think we need to bring in the mobile pricing. Like in my mind, if it's a mobile platform, it's cheaper, period. End of story. And I'm surprised that you guys don't naturally believe that, because everybody, like yesterday in chat, everybody seemed to think I was way off my rocker for thinking that there should be an automatic discount. Now the other thing I'll say too is certain games are going to be excluded from this. And they're going to be the biggest, most popular games. So, for example, Beat Saber, it's going to be excluded from that. You're not going to get the automatic discount on Beat Saber. Same thing with some other really big primetime games where we're almost lucky to have them on the platform. Those, you're going to pay the piper. But I'm talking about the general, like the great pile of library, like the vast majority of the stuff. It's got to be cheaper, I think. Okay, so anyway, that's my thought on cross-buy and the Quest and trying to explain that out. Okay, so another thing I wanted to get into real quick is Nostradamus Jr. Okay, so after I made the prediction about the Rift, well, the Oculus Lenovo, I said Oculus Lenovo, March 28th, bank on it. Nostradamus Jr. hath spoken, and when he hath spoken, you can take it to the bank. I was completely wrong, and so the support, Nostradamus, like, people don't trust me anymore. They don't trust Nostradamus anymore, so I have to remind them of the powers of Nostradamus. So I have a little bit of evidence for Nostradamus and why you do want to trust in Nostradamus. You do want to buy the lottery tickets that I tell you to buy. Okay, so I have a clip that I'm going to play. This was from, I believe, Monday's episode, April 1st. All right, so I'm going to pump the volume up on this Dead and Buried video here, and let's watch one of our clips. Let's see if Nostradamus is legit. Okay, hold on a second here. Okay, now we have Area of Darkness, Sentinel. This game was delayed. This game was on our report last month, in the month of March. It was supposed to be a March release. It got delayed till April 9th. There's a part of me that believes when we get closer and closer to April 9th, this is going to get delayed again. I don't know why, but I have a feeling that sometimes with these developers, they're like, yeah, we'll have it out in another month. And then they start getting closer. No, we're not going to have it out in another month. We need to push it another month. Okay, yeah, so that was a Nostradamus Jr. prediction. And I'm happy to say Nostradamus strikes again. So let's go ahead and go to our webby browser, and here it is, Area of Darkness. So this game, straight up, this was on Monday. This was just on Monday. I said that this game, which was scheduled for April 9th, I said the chances that this game is coming out on April 9th, I don't know. I don't feel good about it. I feel like as we get closer and closer to April 9th, it's going to be delayed. Well, guess what happened, folks? It did get delayed. So Area of Darkness is not coming on April 9th. Now they're saying late April 2019. Small delays. A delayed game is eventually good, but a rushed game is forever bad. I believe that was Miyamoto from a million years ago, right? But yeah, these guys have delayed the game several times already. And you know what? I don't think late April is going to work either. I think what these guys should do. So here's my advice for Rematch Studios. My advice for Rematch Studios is say that this is coming September. Say it's coming September 2019. And then that way you can just relax. You can just relax. And if you finish it up by, say, mid-June, you're good. You finish it by late July, you're good. You finish it by August, you're good. There's no pressure. There's no pressure. So I think it was a bad idea. I mean, it's a good idea they delayed it, but a bad idea that they delayed it to late. Like, what can you do in a couple of weeks? Like just say that it's coming like summer 2019. And then if you wrap it up and you get everything dialed in and everything's perfect, then you could come out with a new release date and say, oh, it's coming out earlier. You could come out with a brand new trailer or something. So anyway, Area of Darkness, originally scheduled for April 9th. It is now delayed till late April. And if Nostradamus is right again, it's going to be delayed again. I don't think it's coming out in late April, but that's just my own personal gut instinct. My spider senses are tingling. So trying to restore a little bit of faith in Nostradamus. All right, let's go back to our standard scene. I need to get off of this video, of course. We do not need double Anthony. That's a little too much Anthony for anybody's situation there. Little too much Anthony. So let's go ahead and get off of that. Okay, what else did I want to cover here before we just get into miscellaneous stuff? Okay, well, we do have our Oculus daily deal. We can go ahead and take a look at what is the daily deal right about now. Let me go. So we got to go back to the Webby browser here, and I got to find our daily deal. Okay, so here we are back to our web browser interface. And this is the Oculus daily deal of the day. It is called Discovering Space. Discovering Space 2, actually. An exploration of the solar system. This is 50% off. You can get it for $5. Normally goes for $10. And there's a little over 9 hours left in this. So yeah, this is Discovering Space 2. I've never tried this. I've tried a lot of various space things, but I have not tried this one. So I am not sure if it is any good. But yeah, that's Discovering Space. That is our daily deal. Okay, going back over here. So one thing I did want to talk about today. So I'm back at work, and I'm only working half day. Well, today I'm only working half days. Tomorrow, half days. Yesterday was a half day. That's why I'm able to do this show at 2 p.m. And then like Monday and Tuesday, I'm working like 6 hours. So I'm doing the show at 4 p.m. And then when they put me back to 8 hours a day, the show will be a night show. It'll be like a 7:30 p.m. show. So that's kind of how basically the times of this show are pretty much determined by my work schedule. It's when I get off work, I can get home and I can scramble and try to put together a show. So that's kind of how it's working here. But I'm back at work, and when I'm back at work, I'm listening to podcasts. At least I'm trying to listen to podcasts. Unfortunately, there aren't a lot of VR podcasts, and that's unfortunate. So what I've done is, and when there's a lack of VR podcasts like on iTunes, like actual legitimate podcasts, I'm turning to YouTubers, and I'm just listening. I'm not watching the video. I'm just listening to videos of like MRTV or Voodoo DE or Virtual Reality Oasis or Nathy or Cas and Chary or Cas and Chary. I always mispronounce Cherry. It's Cherry, right? Even though it looks like Chary, it's Cherry. Okay, Cas and Chary. So I'm listening to a lot of this stuff, and I keep hearing the same thing over and over again in relationship to the Oculus Rift S and also the Oculus Quest. I'm hearing a couple of things about IPD and also about refresh rates, like 72 hertz, 60 hertz, 80 hertz, 90 hertz, and also about various IPDs. And I wanted to make a comment about this because I think things are being swept under the rug a little bit too much. And I just I'm not criticizing anybody out there, but I just wanted to make a comment about it. But what I did was I grabbed a quick little clip from a recent Cas and Chary video. I believe it's actually Cas is at PAX East, and she's trying out the Rift S and she's trying out the Oculus Quest, but I think this is the Rift S video, and she makes some comments about like the refresh rate and the IPD, and let's go ahead and run this. So I'm going to turn the volume up on Telefrag. We're going to watch a quick little clip from Cas and Chary, and then Cas and Chary. I got to say it the right way. Cas and Chary, Cas and Chary, Cas and Chary, Chary, Chary. Okay, I'm going to turn up the volume on this Telefrag, and we're going to check out a quick little clip, and then I'll talk about it when we come back. Okay.
The Rift S also has an 80Hz refresh rate, while the original Rift has 90Hz. I didn't notice a difference here though, which is good news because I can get motion sick from time to time. Oculus says that the Rift S is best for users between 61.5 and 65.5 millimeters. That said, we should mention that perception and comfort could be different per person. For example, my IBD is about 59 to 60, which is on the edge of this range, and I had no problem playing with the headset. Chary has an IBD of 66.5, and the headset looked and felt great for her too. Unfortunately, we can't check what it is like for people very under or above this IBD. If you are in this range, I would recommend testing out the headset first before buying, and don't forget to change the IBD in the software as well.
Okay, so yeah, that was a quick little clip there from Cas and Chary, and mostly Cas pretty much talking about stuff, and this was at PAX East. They got to try out a lot of stuff. And one of the comments I wanted to talk about is, because I've been hearing this, I'm not trying to single them out, and they didn't say anything wrong. All their opinions are valid, and everybody else's opinions are valid. But I just wanted to kind of talk about the 80 hertz thing, the 72 hertz thing, the 60 hertz thing, 90 hertz, and all of that. Because so right now, here's the thing with Rift S. With Rift S, it's going down to 80 hertz, right? And the decision for that was min spec. They didn't want to have to change their min spec and their rec specs. They wanted to stick with that, and they didn't want to have to screw with that. And the way to be able to deal with that is you lower it to 80 hertz. Now, part of it was the screen itself. Like, can the screen itself even run at 90 hertz if it wanted to? Maybe not. So that might not even have been the reason. That might have been the way to explain it. The easy way to explain it is, oh yeah, we really want to stay at our minimum recommended specs, and the minimum specs and the recommended specs. We didn't want to come off of that. That's why we lowered it to 80 hertz. Not because the screen can't really do 90 hertz. So that's why it's not going to happen. They didn't want to say that. Okay, and then on the Oculus Quest, remember the Oculus Quest is 72 hertz, okay? And then on the Oculus Go, you have 72 hertz and 60 hertz. And so what I wanted to speak to here is that everybody that's been trying the Quest and they've been trying the Rift S, and they're like, oh yeah, the 80 hertz, I didn't notice it at all. And people who are trying the Quest, 72 hertz, I didn't notice it at all. And people who try the Go, oh yeah, 72 hertz and 60 hertz, I didn't notice it at all. So what I wanted to speak to in regards to that is, you know what? If you're trying something out for 15 minutes or even for an hour, you might not notice these things. So I don't think we can really make legitimate judge. And this is not Cas and Chary's fault. It's not anybody's fault. It's not my fault when I was at GDC and I tried it for 10 minutes. It's not our fault that we don't have them in our house and we've been using it for a month. Because I think that's when we're going to have the answer to this type of stuff, is when you've had it for a month and you've had a 3-hour Skyrim session, and you've been playing for a month. Then we got to understand about 80 hertz, 72 hertz, 60 hertz, and all those sorts of things. Yeah, there's flicker. There's noticeable flicker for some people. Some people are not perceptible to it. Other people are. I notice that if I'm playing an Oculus Go game that's 60 hertz, I notice the flicker. My eyes notice it. Some people don't. So yeah, different people, different situations here. But I just, the point I'm trying to make here is some people have said, yeah, I tried the Rift S. I tried the 80 hertz. I didn't notice it. It's no big deal. You don't have to worry about it. And I'm like, nah, it's no big deal in the 15 minutes you tried it, or the hour that you tried it, or the 2 hours that you tried it. But maybe if you had it for like 3 or 4 months, maybe it's a bigger deal when you're using it for those 3-hour marathons. So I just want to point that out, because some people are just like, oh, it's not a problem. 80 hertz is great. No problem here. Move on. Move on. And then the same thing with IPD. It's the same exact thing with IPD. So Cas has actually a pretty small IPD, but she said it worked fine for her. It worked out great for her. Chary has a bit of a bigger IPD that is more towards where the prime spot is, worked out fine for her. All of that is great, but again, like I tried the Rift S. My IPD is like 69, 70, 71, somewhere in that kind of category. So I'm on the other end of the scale. And I tried the Rift S. It was perfectly fine for me, but I had 10-minute demos. Now, their demos are a lot better because they had like 2 days. They had like 2 days to play with these things. And some of them were able to use, like Voodoo DE had like 4 hours with an Oculus Quest, and he was like doing videos on his computer, but had the Quest, had his computer, and with like, that's awesome that you would have 4 hours. Like, I wish I had that. I wish I got flown out. No, no, I'm not going to go down that road. But regarding these IPDs and stuff, again, I think it's too early, because a lot of people are saying, oh, it's not really going to be a problem. You know, if you're from 59 to 73, it's probably okay. It's not going to be a problem. No, we're not going to know the answers to that until we actually get these headsets in our house and we actually have months with them. Like, I wouldn't even rush, like, you know, let's say the Rift S comes out next Tuesday. Okay, the Rift S is available. People start buying it right away. You know, they get it shipped. People get them. They go to Best Buy. They pick them up at Best Buy. And then the reports are going to come in immediately. Rift S review. Oculus Quest review. And people are going to do full-fledged reviews like after having it for like a day. And again, I think like my feeling with all of this is that like you need time with something. You need time to understand something. It's kind of what I said with MameFan, who got a Pimax 5K Plus. My recommendation for MameFan back when he got it was don't rush to any kind of judgments. Take a bunch of days, experience it for a bunch of days, and sleep on it. You know, sleep on it, experience it, sleep on it, and then you're going to know a lot better. You're going to feel a lot better about it. So I just wanted to point that out about both of the refresh rates and the IPDs. We need to kind of chill out a little bit in terms of people coming out and saying, you know, it's all good. It's not a problem. Everything's great. Maybe, hopefully, I'd like to think so, but I don't think we know that for sure. Okay, so basically those were the stories that I had prepared for today's show. Not a lot. I will completely agree that there is not a lot of stories that I have prepared here. But now what we can do is we can go to, MameFan rushed to judgment. He screwed up. And judged it real too quick. But let's go to the websites that we liked so much, like Upload VR and those kinds of places, and let's check out the latest headlines. And there are some pretty big headlines that are going on, so let's go ahead and check this out. Let's bounce over back to our webby browser here. And so one of the stories we're seeing is a lightsaber battle confirmed for Vader Immortal on Quest. And this is great news. Of course, this is something we've been wanting, like a proper lightsaber battle type of a thing since Nintendo Wii. We've been wanting this since Nintendo Wii. Now, the problem is, I still don't think it's going to work that great because the problem is, like, if you're really having a lightsaber battle, you know, it's like, you know, the problem is when we're playing, okay, they can do a little bit of rumble when you hit it, rumble, but you don't get that, you know, you don't get a kick back, like, or you don't get like, oh, I'm pushing my lightsaber against that lightsaber. Oh, I'm trying to do it. See, we don't get that in VR. We don't get that with the Wii either. So I think everybody's dream of this incredible lightsaber battle, you're going to need some incredible haptic feedback for that to act. Honestly, they're going to have to wire like right into your freaking wrist or right into your brain and trick your signals to think like, oh, yes, I'm battling this guy with my lightsaber and it's really strong and I'm holding this. You know, we're not going to get that. It's not going to work. So we need to like chill out a bit about that, I think, although that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants to have an incredible lightsaber battle. Okay, No Man's Sky Dev, we may be the most owned game with VR support. Really? You're telling me that more people own No Man's Sky than Skyrim or Fallout 4? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. But if he's saying that they're including VR support, okay, yeah, they're including VR support. Like Skyrim VR is a separate game. Okay, yeah. Actually, you know what? He's probably right. Skyrim VR is a separate game. Fallout 4 VR is a separate game. You got to go buy a separate game. So, yeah, that's probably the truth. They are probably the most owned game with VR support if you think about, they're providing it for free. Okay, this is a story that has been popping up. I've seen it on the subreddits, and we've talked about this already about how Jason Rubin, we had an episode, it was called the Jason Rubin Chronicles, which was one of the unfortunate episodes. I never got back to doing timestamps on that episode, and there are a handful of episodes I haven't done any timestamps for, and my apologies for that. It's not because I'm twiddling my thumbs, it's because I'm doing something else and I just don't have time. But we talked about a lot of the different things that Jason Rubin was talking about, and one of the most interesting comments he made in some of these different interviews, and I guess this is a new interview that he did with like Variety, I think, is talking about how at a certain point, they're basically going to have to break everything to have a radical improvement. And I like this. I love this. I'm glad that they're like willing to understand this and lean into this and accept this. So this is one of the quotes that is out there for this. He says, I think if we did something we honestly called a 2, talking about a Rift 2, like a legitimate Rift 2, and felt comfortable with that name, it would need to include radical new tech, Rubin told Variety in an interview published this week. Okay, so yeah, it was Variety. Like body tracking. I'm glad I keep hearing him talk about body tracking because we absolutely need to get our bodies in VR. I think that will be a game changer, like legit body tracking. Eye tracking, a new form of input, gloves maybe, a lot of things that would create a new ecosystem. And then also, I think maybe the biggest part of the entire thing is min spec and rec spec, wipe it all away. Because when you go to the Rift 2, you got to say, okay, this is an entirely new level. You need to have the most banging video card on the planet because we're moving up from here. Yeah, I know there's no Rift 2 anytime soon. I know it's years away. Rudel Zavedno says, Anthony, read last paragraph. No Rift 2 soon. Yeah, no, there ain't no Rift 2 soon. Rift 2 is a while away. So the last paragraph says, don't expect Oculus to make that change for a while then. Meanwhile, VR enthusiasts are pinning their hopes on Valve's mysterious index, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, tracking gloves, eye tracking, these kinds of things. But also, I think the specs, okay? The specs, because I think you come out with the Rift 2, like when they come out with the Rift 2, I would love it if they said, you've got to have a 2080 Ti or better. That's the freaking min spec, a 2080 Ti, because the Rift 2 is not being built for right here, right now. The Rift 2 is being built to last for 3 or 4 years. So it's being built for the video cards we're having next year, and the video cards after that, and the video cards after that. And those, and so it won't be a problem. But see, the Rift, whatever Rift we have and the Rift 2, they're going to exist at the same time. And so if people are like, but I don't have a computer, I can't afford a 2080 Ti, I don't have enough money for that. You're forcing, no, we're not forcing you to do anything. We have a product for people like you. It's called the Oculus Lenovo. We've got a product for you. It's available. It's there. We're not putting a gun to your head and forcing you to get a Rift 2. So I think the requirements should freaking jump through the roof because we're starting on a new era there. And that's where you got to sweep everybody away. And you got to start fresh and clean. And we're talking about gloves. We're talking about body tracking. We're talking about varifocal lenses. and all kinds of crap. 140-degree field of 140-degree field of view, etc., etc. So, but you know what? I love the fact that internally they've come to this understanding. I really like that, because a lot of companies are scared to death of drawing a line in the sand. They always want to carefully bring people along. And sometimes you just need to say, you know what? All of that is old. Get it the hell out of here. We're starting over from scratch and we're creating an entirely new thing. So I hope they go all in with that. Like I say, yeah, absolutely, and go all in with that. Don't get weak sauce on me now. Don't back up on that shit now. Stick with it. Stick with it through thick and thin. Okay, so yeah, people continue to talk about the Iron Man VR with the prediction and the black magic and all of that to do 360 tracking. You know, the question that we're going to start to get now in regards to like Iron Man VR is, okay, so whatever Camouflage came up with, and they're also working with another company. Let me see. I saw it in here because it's Camouflage. Ryan Payton. So Ryan Payton, if anybody doesn't know, Ryan Payton worked under Kojima for a long time. He was like a right-hand guy for Kojima, like a producer for Kojima for a long time. Then he left Kojima. He started his own studio, Camouflage Studio, and their first game was Republic. And then now they're working on Iron Man VR, Marvel's Iron Man VR. But they're being helped by development partners Dark Wind in New York. And he's saying that they weren't intimidated by the challenge of having a single PlayStation VR camera. We designed the game so players can move around 360 uninhibited and not have to worry about where they're looking and whether they're facing the camera. There's a bunch of tricks underneath the hood, a dozen or so unique things we're doing that are predictive, that use the gyroscope in the Move controllers, that they have a prediction algorithm the team created that is very accurate. Now, the question we're going to get to now, though, is, can we use this in other games? Like, can you let everybody know how to do this? Can we use this in all kinds of games? Is this going to give PlayStation VR its second wind? From a standpoint of having that single camera, having that single cone of vision. But if we can come up with some incredible algorithm that uses the gyroscopes and all of that, and based on where arms are moving and everything, and it can predict based on our human form, it can predict, it knows how you're turning around, and it kind of predicts it. You know, deep learning, neural networks, blockchain. Will this technology be shared with anyone else? Hopefully. But I don't know if it will translate to anybody else. This might work for their game, for flying around as Iron Man, might not work on anything else. So that's a possibility there. Okay, why don't we go ahead and check Road to VR? And let me just give this a quick little refresh, see if there's anything new. Okay, Mod Saber is no more. New Beat Saber mod solution is coming soon. Yeah, see, Beat Games has to be incredibly careful that they don't want any legal entanglements. So whenever they add stuff, they're going to break all of these other things that are attached, and it's tough titty. The people that have those things, they're going to have to figure out how to make them work again after the update comes through. That's just the way this is going to work, and it's not surprising in my opinion. Nothing else is really going on here. Oh, you know what? I do have a game that we wanted to look at real quick. I wanted to look at a trailer for a game. It's a baseball game. Yeah, I know all you guys love baseball, don't you? It's America's national pastime. Although really our pastime is football. It's NFL football, really. Our national pastime used to be baseball. Not really anymore. But you know what? I saw there's a new baseball game that is coming to VR. It's coming to Steam. It is called Hit and Run. I grabbed a little trailer for it. Why don't we go ahead and check this trailer out, and we could just see what's going on here. I love an awesome baseball game in VR. I don't know that this is it. Probably not, but let's go ahead and check it out and see what it's about anyway. So I'm going to pump up the volume on Firmament here, and we're going to check out this new trailer for Hit and Run.
I don't think I could say it enough. The whole idea of having fans and community that support us is amazing to us.
I don't know, guys. Not tremendously exciting. Abort, abort, abort. Okay, I did not actually watch this trailer prior. I watched like 2 seconds of it, and I thought, oh, the pitcher looks kind of good. The catcher looks kind of good. The stadium looks okay. The actual baseball bat looks kind of good. But that appears to be it. God damn it, when are we going to get a good baseball game? Like, baseball could really work in VR. You think about baseball, okay, so you have a pitcher that's on the mound. The pitcher, holds a ball. I guess the pitcher would work better if you had a knuckles controller, because you're holding the ball, and then you can let go of the ball. And so you're throwing the ball, and then the batter, of course, the batter could have his knuckles controllers, and you could just kind of pretend that you're holding a bat like this, and, do all of that. You could be a fielder, you're playing shortstop, and you just move around a little bit to the left or right, and then you throw it to first base and stuff. Dude, where is the legitimate sports games in VR? Do we have any legitimate sports games in VR? Like, is there any sports game, and I'm talking real sports, guys, not freaking driving and shit, that is not sports. I'm talking like baseball, football, basketball, soccer, hockey, even like tennis, which is borderline. But I'm talking like real simulation style sports, not just a little fun little wham bam thing. Okay, look, we got 2MD VR football. It's a fun game. It's not a legitimate football game. Like maybe it could be a legitimate football game, but it isn't. And we don't have a legitimate baseball game. We don't have a legitimate soccer game. Like, is Electronic Arts or anybody ever gonna like do a sports game in VR? Like, it's funny because Jason Rubin, do you guys remember in the Jason Rubin interview, he mentioned that people have asked him, where's Madden? Where's Call of Duty? Where's Call of Duty? Where's this? Where's Madden? And he mentioned Madden, John Madden football. Sony has a game called The Show, right? Freaking Sony has a contract with Major League Baseball. Sony has a VR headset. Hasn't the developers of The Show, haven't they ever done like a first-person mode or something? Where the hell is the VR baseball from Sony, by the way? Main fan says, I mean ball puck sport. I'm talking real sports, guys. Real sports. Okay, boxing. Yeah, boxing is a real sport. Okay, so technically Creed, we got one real game. We've got Creed Rise to Glory. It's a legitimate, not super legitimate, but it's a pretty legitimate boxing game. It's not trying to be a sim, but it's pretty close. And so you kind of get the feel for boxing when you're playing Creed. Creed, okay, Creed counts. Golf, I don't think we have the golf game yet that we can really count yet. We don't have a basketball game. Sanzaru, of course, has VR Sports Challenge. There's basketball in it. There's football in it. But I'm talking about like NBA 2K VR. That's what I'm talking about. NBA 2K VR, John Madden VR, The Show VR, NHL Hockey VR, FIFA VR. Like, we don't have any of that. And I think the formula, okay, this is starting to make me dizzy, so I'm going to get off this damn trailer. I don't know if it's making you guys dizzy. Let's get off this trailer here. But we don't have any of that. And I think it's really quite disappointing that we don't have any of that, because we should have had some of that by now. And I have a solution for it. So let's go ahead and let's switch back to our webby browser here. We could check out this hit and run page real quick. So yeah, this is hit and run. It's getting ready to come out. This is, April 4th. Wait, today's April 4th. Okay, so the game is going to unlock in 2 hours. So here it is, hit and run. Let's just see what they say about this. Now you can experience real-life baseball stadium fields atmosphere. Hit and Run VR is an indoor virtual sports game where you can play like a real baseball player. Just push the trigger button and hit the ball. Make your highest score. Having fun. Gee, was this created by somebody that is not native to baseball? Me think so. Okay, so also this says HTC Vive. Doesn't say anything about any other headset. So this was definitely designed for the Vive. It says Hit and Run VR is a VR baseball game that you enjoy with Vive. You enjoy it with Vive. 3D graphics, hitting feel through character AI. You mean tough character AI? We have realized the best realism as playing a real baseball game. Yeah, this was definitely developed in China or Korea. And look, I'm not going to knock it because, hey, don't they play baseball in Korea a little bit? I mean, they play baseball in Japan. They straight up, Japan could whip our butt in like Little League World Series. Sometimes they do. I think Korea as well. So just because it was made in Asia, and I don't know that to be a fact, but just judging by a lot of these grammatical errors, I'm kind of leaning in that direction. It doesn't mean that it's going to be garbage, but sometimes it can be a bit of an indicator. But it says with high resolution 3D graphics, the rich animations implemented through real baseball player motion capture make you experience the best possible reality in VR baseball games. The artificial intelligence of the character who plays the defense has been dramatically strengthened, and the character artificial intelligence has been fully implemented. This allows a natural single play of up to 9 innings in 3 innings. What? 9 innings in 3 innings? What? The core of baseball is in the hitting feeling. Okay, well, anyway, yeah, this is Hit and Run baseball. I would love there to be like a legit sports game in VR. I don't think we have it, but I do feel like I have the solution, ladies and gentlemen. You come to Nostradamus for your lottery numbers, but you also should come to him for the solution on how to do sports games in VR. And the way I think you do a sports game in VR is tabletop styly. Tabletop styly. What does that mean? What that means is imagine there was a table right here. Actually, I got to get this browser out of my face here. Okay, so imagine there's a table right here about yay high. There's a table that's spread out like that. And you're like a giant Godzilla that's looking at this table. And then you have little dudes that are running around and they're throwing footballs or they're playing soccer. And you can use a regular controller, brah. So you can do all the normal controls that you do in NBA 2K or FIFA Soccer or John Madden or The Show or whatever. So, the show should be first person though, but like Madden, FIFA, NBA 2K, you play it like Godzilla. You see the little characters running around. We've seen it work so well. We've seen this work with Brass Tactics. We've seen it work with Final Assault. We've seen little guys running around and we've looked close at them and like, whoa, look at the little guys running around. We could do that with football. We could do that with basketball. We could do that with soccer. We could do that with hockey. But nobody's doing it. Tabletop basketball did it, but unfortunately it's absolute garbage. Do you guys remember that tabletop basketball? Tabletop basketball. Yeah, there was this game here, Tabletop Basketball VR. Goddamn. And I rooted for these guys, Red Zone Studios. Like, I was hoping that this would be something cool. I really was. And then I got it and I was like, dude, this game wouldn't even sell on PlayStation 2, much less VR now. Like this game, This game would have bombed on a PlayStation 2. Like, I don't even know that this game would be a big seller on PlayStation 1, much less like 2 or 3 or anything like that. But this is the idea. This is the concept. Although the big problem with this game, you couldn't get close enough to the damn table. You need to get much closer to the table. Like, the table needs to be a lot closer to you, so you're hovering over it and you're looking at the little guys run around. That's how you do sports in VR, like team-based sports. This is how you do it. So please understand. Okay, let's take a look at some of the messages that people have been responding with in chat. So let's see what some people are talking about over here. Let's see. Okay, so we're talking about hit and run baseball. So SAMIK81 says NHL, NBA, or baseball are not good games for VR. No, that's not true. You gotta think out of the box. Okay, baseball, you could do that in first person because the batting is first person, the pitching could be first person, and you could basically, I think if they were to do a baseball game, this is the way it would have to work. When you're in the field, like, you're either going to be the pitcher, you're going to be the third baseman, you're going to be an outfield guy, you're going to be a shortstop, but you can't be switching all around. You got to be one position. Okay, so if you're going to be the pitcher, you're going to be the pitcher. If you're going to be the shortstop, you're going to be the shortstop. You can't be playing all kinds of positions. You got to stick, right? And then when you get up to bat, that's straight up first person. You know, that's straight up first person, and that would work. But as far as like NHL and NBA, that's tabletop style. That would work absolutely fine. AMJ99 says NFL will destroy the stuff in your room and give you bruises. Well, yeah, you can't be running around. You can't pretend like you're running routes in your room. Like, unless you're going to be playing out in the park with an Oculus Quest, and then you got to worry about divots. See, that's the thing. We can't go to a park and play a game and run around like crazy because the ground is not flat. Let's see. Main Fan says, if VR Sports Challenge would let you play the entire game, it would qualify. Hussein X says, people don't have the space in homes for a proper sports game. Once again, tabletop style, brah. Tabletop style would work. Freebooter says VR hockey would be epic. We do have a couple of hockey games. I think they're like 2-on-2 style hockey games. Like, there's a free hockey game that's on the go, right? And I think it's going to be on the Quest too. Crunchy says, I don't want Madden or Call of Duty in VR. Keep those apps out of VR as long as possible. Well, what you really don't want, you don't want Electronic Arts and you don't want Activision. That's what you don't want in VR, and I'm inclined to agree. I'm absolutely inclined to agree. Like, Electronic Arts, seriously, Electronic Arts can get bent because Electronic Arts has never been down with VR. So I got to tell you guys, when Electronic Arts finally embraces VR, look the other way. Do not buy their shit because they were never down with VR. Like, Electronic Arts, they feel like they got to be dragged kicking and screaming into VR. So F that noise. I'm not buying no EA game. Forget them. They can kiss my you-know-what. Okay, yeah, Pseudo Soul says Pickup League Hockey on Oculus. And AMJ99 says, hey, Koreans know the games. PUBG is made in Korea. Yeah, no, Koreans also know baseball. They play baseball. So that could happen. Greg's VR says, a running back, wide receiver, or quarterback with thumbstick logo in first person. Yeah, you could do that. I mean, we've seen it with 2MD VR football that you could be a quarterback for sure. And I'm kind of shocked, to be completely honest with you guys, that we don't have Peyton Manning VR football, where all you are is the quarterback. All you got to be is the quarterback. Think about it. The quarterback just stands in one spot, hikes the ball, backs up a couple of feet, and throws the ball. That's all a quarterback does. And if it was Peyton Manning's VR football, look, Peyton Manning ain't taking off running down the field. He stays in the pocket. So it's got to be like pocket passer VR football. You hike the ball, you freaking throw it to the wide receivers. Like you could go through you could play an entire game, but like defense, offense, defense, where you're the quarterback and all you got to do is be the quarterback, and you hand it off to the running back sometimes. You get out of the way of the running back. You do your play action and all that type of stuff. And then maybe on defense, you could be like the safety or something. I don't know. But somebody could figure it out. Yeah, Drew Brees, VR football. Great idea. So EA and Activision will ruin VR like they ruin everything. That is pseudo soul. I didn't say that, but I do agree. Greg's VR says, I'd take a 2K football in VR. Yeah, that's the other thing. See, I was thinking that Jason Rubin, like the whole, like he mentioned Madden, like when is there going to be a Madden in VR? And I was thinking, oh man, I should tell Jason Rubin, call Visual Concepts. Get Visual Concepts, because they made those old 2K football games. But the problem is, all they've been making is NBA 2K basketball games for like the last 15, like how long has it been? How long has it been since we've had NFL 2K football? It's been like 15 years. So they haven't made a football game in 15 years. So it'd be hard for them to do that. But NBA 2K VR, it could work fantastic. A basketball game in VR could work absolutely fantastic because the basketball court is it's not gigantic. You could have it kind of kitty corner style, and you're looking at it like a freaking Godzilla. You're hovering over it. You've got your controls. You're controlling your guys. Everything is 3D, and it's like holograms are happening in front of you. I think it'd work perfectly fine. So that is my thoughts on the sports stuff. Okay. What else is going on? Let's go back to our Webby browser here, because you know what? There is a brand new game that is available today. We heard about this game when it was April 1st, and I was covering the games of the month of April. And this is The Woods VR Escape the Room, and the developer is Blue Entropy Studios. Now, I'm kind of surprised this game is freaking $3. This is $3. Kind of crazy, right? $3. It's 40% off. The normal price is $5, but you can grab this for $3. Now, I got to imagine that this is short as can be. I got to imagine that this experience, maybe from beginning to end, lasts like maybe an hour. You start off in this little cage up here, I guess, and you got to figure out how to get out of the cage and stuff. But this is The Woods VR Escape the Room. Blue Entropy Studios is the developer of this. It is available today. You can grab it right now. It'll set you back entire $3 buccarinis. $3 We got one user review. This was from the developer's dad. It says, good price for a decent puzzle game. There are multiple rooms. I'm currently stuck in the cavern room. The environments are very well done, and the immersion is quite good. I don't know how long the game is, but since I bought it on sale, what I've seen so far makes me recommend it, even though I'm not a big fan of puzzle games. I like it for the experience of the creepy, but not very scary settings. Okay, now we have a bad review that has come in. This guy says, I'm so confused. I have taken to the internet to find out if this game is really only 10 minutes long or if I'm missing something. Oh no. First time booting it up, I got stuck on the second scene. I probably spent 20 minutes searching through everything to see what I was missing. I decided that something must be wrong. So I restarted the game, and sure enough, there were significant key items that never loaded the first time around. VR's got a lot of problems, guys. The actual game took probably 10 minutes tops. And then the screen went white for another 2 minutes before the "You escaped" showed up. Very, very confused if that was the full game or I just glitched to the end or something. At least it was cheap. So yeah, not looking so hot with some of these reviews for The Woods VR Escape the Room. But you know what? Blue Entropy Studios, haven't they done a bunch of other VR games already? Let me click on this. I thought they did some other VR games. Let's see. Yeah, they did Submerged VR Escape the Room. So, that was a short thing as well. So I guess the Woods VR Escape the Room is probably very similar in terms of being like very short and not having a lot to it. The Ruins VR Escape the Room, the Cabin VR Escape the Room. So yeah, these guys have done a lot of little Escape the Room games in VR. And this one is called The Woods. Well, it's out there. It's only $3. Somebody will probably jump on a grenade for the boys and figure out if it's any good. But that is the Woods VR Escape the Room. Okay, Virtually Actual says 2K Basketball does exist on PlayStation VR, and it is a shiz show. Yeah, but that's 2K. What is it called? It's like the experience. It's like a VR basketball experience. Let's do a search. 2K VR basketball. It's like an experience. It's not like real basketball. So NBA 2K VR experience. Yeah, this is an experience. It's not an actual basketball game. It's kind of the stuff that you would do at like an all-star thing where you do like little mini games and stuff. So this does not count. Like this absolutely does not count. It definitely doesn't count. That is not what we're talking about here. So anyway, that was, let's see what else has been coming out recently. We can go to virtual reality and just check. So yeah, recent releases. The Woods is a recent release. Bout of Blood, of course, that was yesterday. So Paradise really liked Bout of Blood. The other thing is, I think some of my Bout of Blood talk came off really, really negative, and I didn't mean to do that. The game is fine. Like Bout of Blood, the game, there's nothing really wrong with the game. I was looking for the PC VR graphic bump is what I was looking for, and I didn't find it. I still need to go back into it though and try to change all the settings and see if I can dial it in more. But basically that's pretty much it. We could try checking the subreddits real quick. Why don't we go to the Oculus Rift subreddit, because there's usually a lot of excitement there with crazy stuff going on. And let's go ahead and refresh this. Oh, there's this thing here. And I would have grabbed this video. If freaking any of my stuff was ever working, but I didn't grab this video. Okay, so here's my question about this. Now this says Oculus Quest Room Scale. Okay, so apparently that game is Dead Secret Circle. And this guy's like walking around looking at stuff. Now you can tell this guy he does have an Oculus Quest on his head. He does have Oculus Quest controllers. My question is this really a Quest game? Is this guy really doing this? I think he might be. And you know why I say that? Is because when you record Oculus Quest gameplay footage, it's like this really squared version, which is what this looks like. So this might actually be legit. So Oculus Quest room scale, dude, the Quest and like room scale could be crazy, man, because for people that have very large rooms that can get away with some crap, we could have some unbelievable experiences being able to just walk around freely and really be inside the world. So this guy says now all we need is automatically generated game levels that map to our own living space 1-to-1. Yeah, let's see what else. Yeah, so this could be an actual Oculus Quest game. Has this been confirmed? Dead Secret Circle? I wonder if Dead Secret Circle has been confirmed as an Oculus Quest game. Because at first I was thinking, you know what? They probably just took footage from Dead Secret Circle and made it look like it was an Oculus Quest game. Like I was starting to think that this was just like a fake ruse, basically. Almost like an April Fool's thing, like they're just faking it. But now I'm starting to think, no, maybe this really is coming to the Oculus Quest, and maybe they are kind of showing experimentation in terms of room scale and stuff. But what's to prevent this guy from just walking right into his walls? Like, I don't see the Guardian coming up at all anywhere. Did he map it out perfectly? And since he's not... Because, like, look, he's pretty close to his wall right there. Like, where's the Guardian? Or did they just turn the Guardian off completely? So, not really sure what's going on with that video there. Let's see. Okay, yeah, Thief Simulator VR, first gameplay video. Okay, so let's click on this. And you know what? I can go ahead. Let's see here. If we oh no, that's not going to work. Let's see. Don't want to do that. Okay, I could play this, and then you know what I could do is I think, see, I'm not hearing any sound. But if I go like this is actually a good test. Let me test this. So I'm going to turn on my desktop audio. Okay. This way I'll be able to test this later to see if this worked okay. So that we could just show videos like this. Stealing microwave. Yeah, so this is Thief Simulator VR, first gameplay video. Looks pretty good, actually. I mean, it doesn't look too bad. Let's try that again. I missed the very beginning of it. Whoops. So looking in from the outside, got inside the house, looking around the house, wanting to steal things. I like the sunlight coming in through the windows. Not a lot to steal in this house, huh? So picking up things, throwing them around. Can you really play the guitar? I doubt it. Uh-oh, cops are showing up outside. So this guy needs to just grab a microwave and get the hell out of Dodge. And he's got a nice hatchback. Perfect. Yeah, looks pretty decent. Do we have an update on like when this game is coming? I know it's on Steam. So let's see. Let's go to Steam and Thief Simulator VR. Let's check it out. Thief Simulator. Oh, the regular game's only $14, but Thief Simulator VR. So it just says coming soon. Game Boom VR is the developer. Have you ever wondered what it's like to be a real thief? Now you can see for yourself in Thief Simulator VR. But yeah, this could be a kind of cool game. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised we don't have like a game where you steal shit and you walk around someone's house, because that would work very good in VR actually, because you're inside a place and you really feel like you're inside a place. So this seems like it would work pretty good. This type of game in VR. It seems like it would make sense. Okay, let's back up here. What else is going on? Valve, this is getting ridiculous. Give us Portal VR already. Yeah, so just a lot of other stuff. Oh, in 2 days, we release Adventure Climb VR on Steam for free. Let's check this out. So here's a YouTube video. So I'll just try playing this. And sound is really loud. Oh, it's in my YouTube video. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and stop that. So yeah, that game, I wonder if that's going to hurt the Climb a little bit, because the Climb is like $40, and that's a free game that looks very similar to the Climb. So there is that. All right, well, we've been going for well over an hour, so I think we can call it. This show is starting to crash at this point, so we're going to go ahead and sign off. All right, let me get my little outro logo on the screen, and we will call it another show. And so, yeah, that's basically going to go ahead and do it for this episode of VR365. Once again, I do want to thank all my Patreon supporters and also people that have been recently making donations on PayPal. Those donations, awesome, man. Huge. It's incredible. Actual donations coming in from PayPal. It is so awesome because that money is starting to stack up. And I got to tell you, that money is going to an Oculus Lenovo. It's going to an HP Reverb. It's going to a Valve Index. It's going to an Oculus Quest. Yes, I want to try all of these things. Now, I don't know that I'm going to have all of them at the same time, but I have kind of a strategy where I'm going to be buying some of these headsets and trying them out. But like keeping them for a good month, trying them. I'm not going to do the quick return thing, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to be buying these headsets. I'm going to be using them for like a month or so, and then I'll just sell them on eBay. And yeah, I'm going to take a loss. I will be taking a loss. So for example, like the Oculus Lenovo, if I buy one of those, and if I ultimately decide I'm keeping my Rift, see, one of the things is I have my Rift here. I'm not selling my Rift because I want to get the Rift S in, and I want to compare it head to head. But I want to own both of them for like a month and swap them back and forth. Not just like a day or two. I want to have both of them for like a month and swap them. And then eventually what I'll do, it's basically the Pepsi challenge with the Oculus Rift and the Rift S, because I'm going to keep both of them for a month. And then basically at the end of the month, I'm going to make a decision. One of them's got to go. You know, which one is going to head to eBay? Because one of them is going to head to eBay. And yeah, I'm going to take a loss. I'm going to take a loss when I sell them. But that's just kind of the cost of doing business. It's kind of like renting them. So that's kind of my strategy there. So PayPal donations, incredible, absolutely awesome, really help out in a major, major way. Because like if you guys donate like $1, $2, or anything that you want to donate, any of those donations, that goes into my fund. That is 100% going towards, I'm looking for my little PayPal thing here. Here we go. Yeah. PayPal, baby. PayPal. I will look into Tippy Stream. Somebody told me that Tippy Stream does work. Tippy Stream does work for USA people. And the cool thing about Tippy Stream is people can put quick little videos into the Tippy Stream. And so like somebody could throw a video. Now the video only lasts a very short period of time, but if somebody wanted to edit a video and they just want me to look at a very specific clip of video and then get my thoughts on it, you can actually do that with Tippy Stream. Like, did you guys see the video that MRTV did with Sweeviver, where all these other people's what do you call it, were putting in videos into the stream? And a lot of people are doing dumb, goofy stuff. But like some people would even record videos of themselves and be like, hi, everybody. Hey, everybody from VR365. This is me, blah, 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 blah. You know, so you could like do advertising or whatever. You could do whatever you want. I think you had to pay like €5 to get the video on there. I don't know what that translates to US dollars, but maybe I'll look into Tippy Stream. But until then, PayPal, baby, it works great. And of course, Patreon as well. So yeah, Kevgret says that he just upped his Patreon up to $5. I did see that. I appreciate that. And I will be thanking everybody slowly but surely. Everybody that gives me a PayPal donation or a Patreon supporter, I absolutely will thank you guys. And I have plans for that. It is coming very soon. So look forward to that. But I did want to say thanks to everybody as far as that goes. Alrighty, well, I got to get the hell out of Dodge here. It is about my coffee time, my afternoon coffee time, which I love my cup of afternoon coffee. Okay, so let's go ahead and put on our logo again. And let's get out of here. All right, well, that's going to go ahead and do it for this episode. I will see everybody tomorrow. I can't believe tomorrow is Friday. Man, this week went by like nothing. Like this week is just basically came and went. Can't believe tomorrow's Friday. But yeah, we will be back on Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific time. And I'm not sure what I'll be talking about, but I'll definitely be talking about something. And I'll see everybody then. So everybody have a wonderful Thursday. See you guys then. Take it easy. Later. What the fuck? The stream is still going.